My name is Stephanie Wagner. I'm a trainer for Healthy Minds Innovations. Had a moment there, sorry. And I'm delighted to be here with you to guide our weekly practice. So we've been coming together during this global pandemic to practice together as a community to train our minds in qualities associated with resilience and well-being. So if you're not familiar with Healthy Minds Innovations, you can find out more about us at tryhealthyminds.org. But essentially, we are a nonprofit that's affiliated with a research institution at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, the Center for Healthy Minds. And what we do is we translate the scientific insights coming out of the Center for Healthy Minds into tools to help people both cultivate as well as measure well-being. I would love to hear from you if you'd share with me in the chat box where you're from today. That helps me know who is practicing with me. I would love to hear from you. And while you're doing that, let me tell you a little bit about our practice theme for the week. So our practice theme this week is calming the mind. I think many of us have come to meditation because we are originally we were overwhelmed with thoughts and challenging emotions and sort of felt like it was no longer workable for us and came to the practice of meditation with the hopes that we could find some peace and calm. And the traditional metaphor that's used to describe sort of this onslaught of thoughts and emotions is actually called the monkey mind. And I love this metaphor. And oftentimes I almost think about it like the monkey is in a grocery store. Imagine if a monkey were in the grocery store swinging from aisle to aisle and shelf to shelf and its tail whapping and knocking off all of the food. And so that's sort of what thoughts and emotions can do in our own minds, is it can just create havoc and it can be really really challenging. So meditation actually helps us to train our mind in qualities that can help us tap into this sense of inner calm and inner peace that exists within us, sort of regardless of those external circumstances. So it's not that we're going to get rid of the thoughts because the thoughts will be there, but what we can do is we can actually develop a new relationship with our thoughts and emotions, one in which we can actually tap into this sense of awareness, this quality of knowing that's with us all the time, and we can rest our minds within that. And within that experience, what will happen is that gradually, the mind begins to settle. You can almost think about it like a mason jar that's filled with water and sand. Our normal daily experience of thoughts and emotions is that that sand is all shaken up in the water. And what happens is when we set that jar on a table, similarly here when we're resting our mind in meditation, the sand, which here is the thoughts, can begin to settle. And so essentially, that's what we're doing here when we are training our mind in the recognition of awareness. So, this idea of calming the mind is training our mind to recognize this innate awareness that exists within us, this quality of knowing. And awareness is one of the pillars of the Healthy Minds model of well-being. So we've got this unique model of well-being that features a different sort of a set of skills that are both trainable, but then science also links them back to being beneficial to well-being. So let me just check and see who we have here. I love it, Monica. Monkey at a grocery store. What a mess. Wonderful. We've got people both, it looks like from the US as well as outside of the US, and really delighted that you're here to practice with me today. So we'll be practicing, I think, for about 20 to 25 minutes. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to point us towards resting our mind in a different aspect of our experience. So we'll start As we normally do, we'll take a couple of deep breaths, but we'll work for a couple of minutes, resting the mind on the breath. And then we'll rest the mind on something in our outer experience. And then we'll drop the practice altogether and just allow the mind to rest in open awareness so that we can kind of connect with this quality of knowing that exists in the midst of many different aspects of our experience. So let's go ahead and get started. So come to a comfortable seated position, and you can close your eyes if that feels good to you. And you can take a couple of slow, deep breaths. Each out breath, allow there to be a sense of letting go and relaxation in the body and the mind. And now bring awareness to your body and have a sense of where you're sitting, feeling the support of the chair or your cushion, feeling connected to the earth, noticing those touch points of your feet or perhaps your knees if you're sitting on the floor or lying down. You're present and aware, completely here in this moment. And then remembering your motivation for meditating, perhaps even reflecting for a moment back on your original inspiration and intent to meditate, and what was going on in your life at that time that caused you to want to practice. Perhaps you were dealing with some painful circumstances, anxiety, maybe knowing yourself better. And so, setting the intention that you're practicing to benefit not only your own well being, but also for the well being of those around you. Knowing our practice has a positive impact on our friends, our family, and it ripples forth into the world around us because of the connection of it all. And so we'll begin to bring our awareness to the breath, simply knowing the breath as it moves in and out of the body. And you can tune into wherever the breath feels the strongest for you and rest your mind there. And if for some reason the breath feels too activating for you, you can rest your awareness on sensations in the body. So there's this sense of knowing the breath, knowing the sensations of the breath or the body, and simply being with that experience. You can let go of all the doing and simply be with the breath. And you'll notice that from time to time you'll get whisked away into thought. You become disconnected from that knowing of the breath. And so each time that happens, simply bringing awareness back to this natural ebb and flow of the breath. And you may even notice thoughts start coming through your mind as you're with the breath. And it's not a problem as long as there's still this sense of knowing. Let the thoughts come, let the thoughts go. Allow the mind to settle on the breath. And here there is just the sense of light knowing not too tight, following the breath. This sense of sort of bare, natural awareness of the breath. Simply knowing that you're breathing. And now we'll shift our attention to our environment and bring awareness to sounds in your environment. Noticing whatever sounds are naturally happening. Might be the sound of my voice, sounds outside. You know that you're hearing. And there's no need to fixate on any single sound in the environment. You can be open, receptive, and aware to all the sounds in your environment. There's no need to block thought. As long as we're connected with the sense of knowing the sounds, we're meditating. And where we're building the skill is noticing each time we're no longer aware of the sound, returning our attention time and time again to rest in this simple knowing that we're hearing. And so this process of getting lost and coming back and getting lost and coming back will happen many times throughout your practice. This is how we're developing the skill. When we recognize these moments of distraction. Here we're giving the monkey mind a job. The job is to listen to sound. And now let go of listening to the sound and see if you can simply be. Let go of any doing. No need to pay attention to anything in particular. There is this sense of being present and aware. Your mind may have a lot of thought, or it may be quite still. Whatever's happening in your mind is okay, as long as you're connected to this sense of present awareness, sense of knowing. And whenever you're ready, if your eyes have been closed, you can open them and you can take a moment to notice the impact of your practice. And whatever you're feeling is absolutely okay, knowing that meditation practice can be very up and down. Sometimes you will feel calm, sometimes you won't feel calm, but there is this sense of kind of accepting what's happening and simply noticing it in just this light of awareness. I would love to hear from you how that practice was for you. If you'll share with me in the chat box, maybe a word that describes the practice, that would be really wonderful. And what I'd like to just say is that, what we're doing here when we're bringing awareness to different aspects of our experience is we are using an object like the breath, like sound, to sort of recognize this quality of awareness that's with us all the time. And even in that last part of the practice where we simply let go in this sense of being present, we don't even need an object, right? We can actually just know. We can know that we're here right now. And so you may find that for you, there are different anchors, different techniques that helps are more supportive to you than others. Some people might prefer the breath, some people might prefer sound. So it's really helpful to work with initially what's easiest, but then knowing that through time you'll probably want to change and you'll want to work with something that feels a little bit fresher for you. And what's lovely is you can now get up off your chair. If you're, around lunchtime, you can go eat your lunch and you can still be connected with this sense of knowing. You can know what you're eating. You can know what you're drinking. If you're drinking a smoothie, eating a salad, you can go outside and go for a walk and you can connect with this awareness. And so what we're doing here is we're connecting to this aspect of our mind, our experience that's present with us all the time. It's just simply that we get out of contact with it. And so we're resting our mind in this quality that's with us all the time. So thoughts can come, thoughts can go, things can feel chaotic on the outside, and yet we're here, we're present with something that is stable and enduring. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's take a look here. Calming and centering. Wonderful. Yeah, I would love to hear from you how your practice was. I also feel quite calm. I've just gotten off of meditation retreat, which is part of the reason why at the very beginning of this practice I was a little discombobulated. So, anyway, very grateful that you practiced with me today, and there will be another opportunity to practice this week. Feel free to check out our Facebook page. The schedule is always posted there. I believe it's also posted on our website, but the theme this week will really be around calming the mind, and getting in contact with this quality of calming the mind can happen several different ways. I'm just introducing you to one way to do that. But I look forward to being back with you next Tuesday. If you haven't had a chance to download our app, you can check us out, Healthy Minds program, in your app store, tryhealthyminds.org, and you'll have access to an app that's freely offered due to the generosity of our donors. We also have an at-work program. If you work for an organization that you think would benefit from having access to these practices and webinars and lots of things to help to support your employee well-being, please let us know. We would love to hear from you and support you in that way. So wishing you well, wishing you ease, and please enjoy with awareness the rest of your day.